Rupa Raghunatha.
Ha ha Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha.
Ha Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha.
Ha ha Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha.
Vata Yuga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanatha.
Vata Yuga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanatha.
Vata Yuga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanatha.
Bhat Juga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanatha.
Joya Guru Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Shri Nitai Sachisuta ki jai. Shri Parishishvara ki jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Parambrahma ki jai. Trying to remember the melody. The original one. Jaya Jaya. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaunitai ki jai. Today we read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 8. Yes, chapter 8, verse 27. Chapter 8 is, the title is The Author Receives the Orders of Krishna and Guru. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Dalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Prachaline Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Nam Eva Kevalam Kalau Nasteva Gati Anyatha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Krishna. Welcome for the morning class about Chaitanya Charitamrita with the verse Premera Udaye Haya Premera Vikara Sveda Kampa Pulakadi Gadgada Shrudhara Premera Udayaya Premera Vikara Sveda Kampa Pulakadi Gadgada Shrudhara Premera Udayaya Premera Vikara Sveda Kampa Pulakadi Gadgada Shrudhara Premera Udayaya Premera Vikara Sveda Kampa Pulakadi Gadgada Shrudhara Please repeat.
Premera Udayaya Premera Vikara
Premera Udayaya Premera Vikara
Sveda Kampa Pulakadi Gadgada Shrudhara
Sveda Kampa Pulakadi Gadgada Shrudhara
Premera Udayaya Premera Vikara Sveda Kampa Pulakadi Gadgada Shrudhara.
Premera of love of Godhead Udaye when there is awakening Haya it becomes so Premera of love of Godhead Vikara transformation Aveda Sveda perspiration Kampa trembling Pulaka Adi throbbing of the heart Gadgada faltering Ashrudhara tears in the eyes Translation When one's transcendental loving service to the Lord is actually awakened, it generates transformations in the body such as perspiration, trembling, throbbing of the heart, faltering of the voice, and tears in the eyes. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. These bodily transformations are automatically manifested when one is actually situated in love of Godhead. One should not artificially imitate them. Our disease is desire for that which is material. Even while advancing in spiritual life, we want material acclaim. One must be freed from this disease. Pure devotion must be Anyabilashita Shunyam, without desire for anything material. Advanced devotees manifest many bodily transformations, which are symptoms of ecstasy, but one should not imitate them to achieve cheap adoration from the public. When one actually attains the advanced stage, the ecstatic symptoms will appear automatically. One does not need to imitate them. Shri Nitai Sachisuta Jai. Shri Rata Parishishvara Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Suparamahalan Jai. So this was the end of the purport. We'll read a few verses in a row. Text 28. I will read the Sanskrit and then the translation. Anayase bhavakshaya krishnera sevana eka krishna namera palepayetadana. Translation. As a result of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one makes such great advancement in spiritual life that simultaneously his material existence terminates and he receives love of Godhead. The holy name of Krishna is so powerful that by chanting even one name, one very easily achieves these transcendental riches. One name. Text 29 and 30. Hena Krishna nam yadilaya bahubara tabu yadi prema nahe ashudhara tabejani aparada tahate prachura Krishna nam bijatahena kare ankura. Translation. If one chants the exalted holy name of the Lord again and again, and yet his love for the Supreme Lord does not develop and tears do not appear in his eyes, it is evident that because of his offenses in chanting, the seed of the holy name of Krishna does not sprout. This is the reason. Purport. If one chants the Hare Krishna mantra offensively, one does not achieve the desired results. Therefore, one should carefully avoid the offenses, which have already been described in connection with verse 24. So indeed it was a detailed explanation of the 10 offenses of the holy name. Those who were present during Mangalarati this morning, you could hear them again. And very important verses that we're reading today, as usual. But this one are focusing on the chanting of the holy name. And of course, when we read that even one name, we very easily achieve all the transcendental riches, especially finishing of material existence and receiving the love of Godhead that we are all looking for, knowingly or unknowingly. And then explanation comes. Why it doesn't work? Because we are chanting Hare Krishna, 16 names already. So why it doesn't work already? Due to our offenses. Easy to understand how to, make steps to manage to get rid of these offenses. It takes lifetime, maybe few lifetimes, maybe more, depending on our sincerity and our seriousness in the practice, and most of all, the mercy of our spiritual master, mercy of the Vaishnavas who are here around us to help in that process. And then it's interesting all the time, like our acharyas, and here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is giving, the prayojan, the taste, what we can get. And then you see here, he talks about the loving symptoms. Like when our loving service to the Lord is awakened, there are transformation in the body. There are many stories in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the different scriptures, explaining of the bodily transformation, and we also in Mangalarati it's mentioned this romancha symptom when the hair dress on the skin, right? This is also some symptoms coming, but we should not confuse them with the symptoms due to material reasons. For instance, now if I go like this in the street, I will also have hair standing, but not for the same reason of love of Godhead. Despite your wonderful association, sorry for my offenses that don't allow me to have these symptoms, but if I just go out, it will be out of cold that I will get these symptoms. And yeah, Prabhupada is warning us, don't try to imitate these symptoms. And we know that, especially in India, there is a lot of sahajas trying to imitate ecstatic symptoms, and you can see them performing kirtans, and all the time they have these symptoms. They roll on the floor, they cry, they try to hug each other, and they are playing the Avaduta. Yesterday we were talking about the Avaduta aspect of Lord Nityananda. But the same, we cannot imitate an Avaduta because Akshanda Prabhu was saying, if we are real Avaduta, we are not disturbed by any remark that someone will make us. Like if we behave strangely and someone will tell us, but you sing so bad. Because we're not Avaduta, we will feel, oh, really? Okay, I will stop then. We feel disturbed. So we are definitely not Avadutas. And these symptoms of trying to cry, sometimes they may come. Even like in the japa, in a kirtan, we may cry. But it doesn't mean it's, transcendental, symptoms. Sometimes it's due to emotion. Why? Because the holy name is so powerful. It awakens. It takes out the dirt in our heart and realize how dirty we are sometimes. And this makes us cry. And this is not, again, it's the power of the holy name, but it's not an ecstatic symptom. Because it's, you know why? Because we can explain it. If you can explain these symptoms, oh, yes, I'm crying because of this and that, then it's not a transcendental symptom. It's just, some manifestation of the mercy of the Lord that purifies our heart. It takes out this dirt, some emotion awakened, but still they have a material basement, let's say. And they're getting out. But because there is an explanation to that, it means it's not yet pure and unmotivated in a sense. So, Prabhupada explains pure devotion must be anyabilashita shunyam. It's coming from nectar devotion. Pure devotion is not mixed with any material motive, any material contamination. It's totally pure, and the desire of the devotee, who is a pure devotee, is only to please the Lord. And his desire to please the Lord is connected with the desire of the Lord to be pleased. So if we take a concrete example, if this relationship is awakened between the Lord and the devotee, what happens is that the Lord wants to eat and the devotee wants to cook for the Lord and over him some bhoga, nice preparation. Shivaram Maharaj once read an article about different types of offering, to the Lord. There is the first level of offering, which is already very good compared to not offering anything to the Lord and just enjoying the fruits that are given by the Lord and without any consideration. But still considered it at first level because the devotee wants to eat. He needs to eat for maintaining the body. When you start a day, go for work, for instance, you need something to eat, to to sustain the body and continue the day. And so the devotee in that mindset will say, okay, so I need to eat, so I will offer something to the Lord because I know it's good and it's my sadhana, I will do it like this. This is the first way of offering some bhoga to the Lord, let's say. The second level is when there is this desire to please the Lord, but still there are some material motives. And the relationship is not fully awakened. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. You want to please the Lord, you try not to put yourself in the center, you really meditate on how the Lord would like that we prepare what we buy, because preparing the offering already starts when you buy the fruits, veggies. So many devotees are kindly bringing some bhoga to the Lord. They have this meditation, okay, what the Lord would like, some milk, some fruits, some veggies, which ones. They try to bring some diversity in what they bring, because from the buying, from the purchasing, they are already thinking what he would like. And so this is another level. And when the relationship is awakened with the Lord, which I was describing for the pure devotee, the desires are connected, and the devotee is able to perceive what the Lord wants, actually, and this is very high level, because you are connected with the Lord, and there are some pastimes where the Lord appeared in the dream, to manifest a desire to get this or that offering, and or to please his devotees as well. He was giving or informing, there is some piece of prasadam for you behind this place, in the temple room. Come and take it for this devotee. And so, these are the three levels of offering described by Shivaram Maharaj. And so we can understand that in our spiritual path there are some steps. We are not yet on this platform. So for now we follow this sadhana bhakti. We try to regulate our life, we try to participate in Mangalarati program, to chant our rounds in the morning, to then offer some incense, flower, fruits, bhoga for the Lord, and then try to keep with this nice energy of the morning, spiritual energy. We try to pursue through the day, to remember the Lord in our daily activities which are needed. And slowly but surely, if we keep association with devotees and practice seriously, definitely the heart will purify, and the more and more this relation will awaken. We were talking last time about this, because the more we purify, the more the Lord is welcomed nicely in our heart, and the more he manifests. In the midst of our dirtiness, the less there is dirt, the more you can perceive the things. It's like, if on this lamp there is so much dust, then the light is less, glittery in a way. So the more we keep it clean, better the light is, and the better we can, see the Lord, can better see Srila Prabhupada and the dust in the room. And one, I was mentioning about the practice, the seriousness in the practice, and this, of course, is connected with our chanting. We want to advance in our bhakti. If you want this Lata beach to grow, and without extra green herbs that are not needed or required, we better remember these offenses, because once you remember, you better impregnate them. And even by remembering, reciting them, sometimes you just don't realize them fully, because of course this knowledge about the offenses, about the holy name is very deep, and the words, sometimes we read them but we don't get the meaning of it, the full meaning, and this comes the more you try to apply these teachings, and the more also you get the mercy of the Vaishnavas and the spiritual master, because when you hear from the lips of your spiritual master, it's of course different power on yourself, because the spiritual master has a realization. So because he has a realization, he can give it to you, you know. That's why we keep reading the Prabhupada's purport all the time, because he gives his realizations. He also shares his ecstatic symptoms, you know. You can already, here we are reading the very advanced Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and even in the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada shares some symptoms. Sometimes you will read some verses, and you know, Srila Prabhupada expressed, yes, and the ultimate goal is to develop our love for Radha Krishna. This is the only goal, you know. But any Vaishnava has, you know, a specific form of the Lord that he worships, that he is very dear to his heart. But Srila Prabhupada came here to bring us his, you know, his relationship with the Lord, and he manifests that in the purports. He gives the full insights. Or it's also very prominent in the verses, when the translation of the words. Sometimes if you read the translation of the words, Srila Prabhupada just said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. And it was not, the full sentence, but Prabhupada, you know, in these Shastras, for him it's a preaching. It's not just a literal translation of it, because he wants us to really get at each page, each word, the capacity to realize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that we can surrender to him with full trust, because then the Lord will take care of us. And he wants us to be convinced with that. So he repeats. And so if we want this realization, we should approach the spiritual master. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya adikshantitechinam janinas tadvata darshinaha. If we approach the spiritual master humbly, we inquire about him, we serve him, and he can, you know, give us this realization, because he has seen the truth. This is what Bhagavad Gita says in chapter 4. This is our real path. We are not perfect sadhakas, you know. Sometimes we fail in waking up, sometimes we fail in remembering the Lord throughout our day, or should I better say, sometimes we manage to remember the Lord one time a day. Sometimes we manage to stand up, sometimes we manage to chant one name attentively. But this is it. We are not perfect sadhakas. We will never be. We should not hope for that. We can try our best. You know, if you want to apply for a job, better you make a nice curriculum vitae. You show all your experience. Try to be, you know, serious. You make your cover letter to show your motivation. And our sadhana is this cover letter. We try our best, and then Krishna will decide of the rest. But we are more on the path of, the mercy, the kripa path. And thanks to that, we can really get the fruit of bhakti. There is no other way for us, especially in this age of Kali Yuga. There is no other way. That's why we repeat, Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasti, Vanasti, 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 Vagatiram Yataha. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way than think of the holy name in this age of Kali. And this very dear instruction reminds us that we should not try on other practices. They will not bring the fruit that we are looking for, love of Godhead. They are not anymore applicable in this life. Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita was trying, he put in front of Lord Krishna different arguments. Then Krishna told him, just practice that and try to remember me, try to fix your mind, And Arjuna was, telling, but it's so difficult to focus the mind. It's like the wind. It's more powerful than the wind, this mind. So how can I? And our acharyas, they emphasize about this chanting because there is, specific mercy because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave it to everyone and he gave his blessings with it. That's why when especially we recite before chanting the Mahamantra, this Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, we get the full mercy of the Panchatattva on us, and we can, protect us from the offenses, because we will make offenses. We may know the offenses, we may repeat them every day, understand a bit of it, but still we will make them because we don't understand the full extent. That's the thing. For instance, we should not disobey the orders of the spiritual master. But sometimes we are not aware of the orders of the spiritual master. We didn't understand what he wants from us. Or we didn't get his instruction, because the instruction of the spiritual master sometimes is hidden. He may instruct you by just, looking at you. Sometimes. By just saying something jokingly. By talking to someone else. But it's for you, And you don't get it. So you are offending your spiritual master unconsciously, And this is our big misfortune. And that's why with the association of Vaishnava, sometimes you can get this instruction and they can help you to understand, but didn't you hear a spiritual master? He was saying this, he was saying that. And then you hear someone repeating, okay, so it's very important for my spiritual master, this and that aspect. So let's try to do something to please him. Let me check with my God brothers and sisters if it's really what I should do for him. Because sometimes you may take an instruction for you, but it's not for you. So again, you are not following the instruction of your spiritual master. Because any spiritual master is very personal, like Krishna is so personal. And, for Prabhupada was instructing his disciples to take this or that ashram. But it doesn't mean everyone should do the same, Srila Prabhupada knew perfectly how to bring his disciples to Krishna. What was their path, what was their level at this moment, and what is the instruction relevant for them. So in this way, we should try to be attentive to the behavior of our spiritual master, to the words of our spiritual master. If we don't have yet the spiritual master, we can always, and even if someone is already having the spiritual master, took shelter, received initiation, still he should also be very attentive to the words of Srila Prabhupada, which are in the purports full of instructions. And in that way, we can progressively avoid more and more the offenses. But meanwhile, anyway, to make sure, let's chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Get the blessings of the Panchatattva and remember the Lord in these 5 aspects. I wanted to mention something else, which I forgot. So I forgot it. Maybe if you share something, if you have any question, I will remember it and I can cross you on that.
And yesterday also, I think, or before, we were discussing that the devotees, they don't like to share the symptoms. They, control their ecstasies.
Yes.
The verse which we read, that although they experience the Shadvika, or 8 expressions of ecstasy, but they don't like it to show off it to others. It's their humility, and also people will take it for granted and maybe imitate. So Prabhupada never encouraged anyone, neither he himself showed many times, very little. So, yeah, Prabhupada always said that a real devotee will not show off his ecstatic symptoms. This can be one thing to
Yes.
consideration.
And you could, on some videos, you can also see Srila Prabhupada having these symptoms, you know, having tears coming.
Choking.
But you can see that his face is so closed.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to, you know, to show off with that. You know, which is a natural tendency for the conditioned soul. Oh, look, I am getting some spiritual emotion. Let's show it like my neighbor can see and witness it, and then he will think I am highly elevated. You know, this is the hope. You know, for the conditioned soul. But actually, no, the Lord also
actually
wants us to hide it because it's a secret thing, and this is very hard, you know. Tell a secret to someone and tell this person not to say it. It's so difficult, and especially in a Mataji body, you know, it's so difficult, you know. And why? Because it's here, it's there. If you want to release it, you want to share it with someone, you know. And because yet we don't perceive and have the Lord, we feel we are alone and we need to share it with someone else. But this is it. We should be humble. This is the garland that we should put to chant the holy name, to keep chanting constantly. And there is a story where one devotee was worshipping the Lord. You know, he was on the altar, you know, fanning the Lord, or maybe, I think it was Chamara. And he was offering Chamara to the Lord, and he felt these ecstatic symptoms. You know, he had tears in the eyes. And he was so exalted personality, this devotee. If you remember maybe the name, you can share.
I think maybe Daruka.
Maybe.
Is Krishna's. Yeah, maybe.
And so this devotee, you know, was so exalted that he was addressing the Lord, but my Lord, if you don't take out these symptoms, how can I do properly my service to you, you know? You know, he was ready to renounce his ecstatic symptoms for the sake of the Lord. Can you imagine this level? You know?
No.
It's so elevated. But a pure devotee is in this mindset. He doesn't care. Doesn't care. Of course, he will experience them, and it will be reciprocation for the Lord. But he doesn't want that it's impeding his devotional service.
That is primary for him.
You know, and this is so elevated. It's like, to my level, for instance, it's like, you know, when there is a wonderful festival. You know, you did full seva all the day, from morning to evening, and there were so many devotees. It was a nice feast, and now it's time, you know, for you to relax a bit and let's go prasadam, you know. And the tendency, my tendency in this moment, is to take a big plate of prasadam, you know. But if I take this big plate of prasadam, then what happens? The next day or the next hours, I am just sleeping on the couch for I don't know how many hours, you know. So it's impeding our devotional service. And still the devotees, they will tell you, but yes, take, it's the festival. But then I realized that, no, actually, if we want to keep fully engaged, constantly engaged, we should also be careful with that. There is no moment that we should be off guard. Not even 1 second. From the moment when you are out of guard, then all the rest can fall down, you know. Because it means there is a bit for Krishna, maybe more than usual on the festival day, but then there is more for me, because I will enjoy this feast and then I will sleep. It's also a form of enjoyment, but in another guna. And so you come back under the influence of the guna, and after the feast, as we say in French, après la fête, la défaite, you know. After the feast is the defeat. That's a saying in French, nothing very spiritual, but it's in another context that it usually applies. But yeah, we should be always on our guard, remembering that we are here to serve the Lord, and we should not be impeded by any external reasons, by our sense gratification. But even though in this example of the devotee, exciting symptoms may appear by reciprocation of the Lord, but the Lord is so pleased if we are ready to give up everything for Him, including our own spiritual pleasure. You know. And a pure devotee, so in this case was an example, but in another aspect, he is not also interested for his own spiritual progress. You know. Of course, we need to advance, but our advancement is not connected with some, techniques, this, that. The real advancement is when we, in our heart, want others to go to Krishna. We are ready to sacrifice everything for the sake of others. Of course, there is always, some frontier, because we cannot give what we don't have. So if yourself you are not strong enough spiritually, you cannot give it to someone else. But still being ready in this consciousness, okay, in that situation, I don't, for instance, it's either my rounds or preaching a newcomer in the temple, So, of course, Krishna is very emphasizing the fact that the devotee who wants to preach his glories, who wants to share it with others, is very dear to him. So we should really consider that and go towards this devotee. This is the general statement. Then there are specific cases. You should also apply intelligence at some point to understand whether you have to do or someone else has to do, what is priority or not. But this is our, the essence of our movement, preaching. And this should be always a priority. And thank you for reminding about these pastimes. That an exalted devotee is always prioritizing the seva, not his own, symptoms.
Personally.
Thank you, dear devotees.
Thank you.
Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki
Jai.
Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki
Jai. His Grace Jiva Pran Prabhu ki Jai.
Toute gloire au dévot d'assemblée.
Hare Krishna.